Hey there, thanks for joining this training. My name is Tiari Walker, and this is Spencer. We are certified health coaches with Take Shape for Life, and we're regional directors at this moment. So today we actually are going to talk to you about something that we've been experiencing.
Yes.
We are talking about maximizing your time, and this is a subject that actually we've been working a lot on. It's been something that Spencer and I, we are full-time health coaches now, and we thought when we became health coaches together that, oh wow, this can be so great. We have tons of time, and we can do awesome at coaching. We have all the time in the world, and that was true, except for the fact that we also have three little bodies of children who live in our house. And so, yes, we still have the time that we need to coach, but we also have time that we need to spend with our family. And we found ourselves in this crossroads of we just weren't getting anything done. I think summer was a really hard part of it, but beyond that, we weren't getting anything done. We would kind of pick and choose different times to work, and it was like I would be sneaking to a computer as quick as I could in between things, and it
Yeah.
just was really ineffective,
It
right?
was like half of the day, half the time we'd be doing something, half of our efforts would be watching the kids, the other half trying to work, and we were just being very ineffective with the time that we had.
It's so true. So we're going to share with you a little bit from what we've learned, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you.
Yep. So today we're going to talk about maximizing your time. Oops. So what we really want to talk about is how to add hours to your day. We all have 24 hours a day. It's not like you can add more hours, but you can definitely reschedule and reorganize it in such a way that those hours are more effective. And it's as if you are adding hours to your day. So it's really great. The first one though is you would think that multitasking is the best way to do it, and that's be the most productive. We do as many things as possible at the same time. But in all reality, it's not as efficient as you'd think. And you lose about 28% in productivity when you start bouncing back and forth between each project. And so multitasking really isn't the way to do it. And the way to do it really is, as it says there, the key is to schedule and block out time, and to be very, very focused in that time that you've scheduled out for yourself. And no longer multitasking. Do one thing and do it quickly and effectively, and then move to the next thing and to the next thing. Instead of bouncing back and forth, you're losing productivity. And really, all of us need more time in the day. That's a huge thing. So get rid of that myth and that idea that multitasking is more effective or efficient. It's not. It's actually, as you can see there, 28% less productive.
It's true. So what we wanted to do, we wanted to break this up into maximizing your time with three different parts. And the first part is maximizing your time with your family and your kids. This was the hard part for us. This is what we had to figure out because it was completely out of balance, and we really needed to make something work so that our kids weren't suffering and they were able to benefit from having both mom and dad home. So we found that one easy way to do this is combine activities. So if you're trying to increase your circle of influence, if you're trying to get out and meet people, the easiest way to do it is bring your kids along. You can host a barbecue. You can have friends over for play dates. You could meet up with some friends at the park. Take your kids with you, and that way they feel they still have that time with you. You guys get to play, but at the same time, you are networking and contacting and making connections with people. And that's what we call killing two birds with one stone. And when you're a busy parent, you're looking for as many as you can.
Yeah. So these are some things that we learned from the Tinters while we were down at the Go Global, and so we want to give a little shout out to them for providing a lot of this information we're going to talk about today. They have many kids, and they're very busy as well. They're integrated residentials, and so what we've learned from them and then from our own experience has been paramount in this presentation today. As Tiari mentioned, though, there are you're scheduling your work days and your kid days. So let's talk about your work days. You really have to take advantage of using the quiet time and the nap time. Be a nap time coach. That's sometimes what we always say we are, nap time coaches, and that's okay. You're taking advantage of the time there. You can be very productive in that 1 to 2 hour time frame that you have, if possible. The next thing that one of the Tinters ideas that we really liked is to create a phone box. So there in that phone box, you create a box of whatever design or shape or whatever you want, and put in it just special toys or activities or projects that are only used when you're on the phone. So that way, you're like, mommy or daddy has to take a phone call. Here's the phone box. Go play with it, and then when you're off of that, you take it back, and that way they know that they get excited to use it. Is because they know that there's some really neat things in there, things that they want to use and play with. They're not the everyday toys that they get to play with. The other thing is to only allow TV or movies during your power hour. So if you have like older children that aren't napping and you want to get some work done, have a power hour and let them know that, and use the TV for that time. If your kids are going to be watching TV during the day, take advantage of that at the same time. Again, it's taking advantage of two things at the same time. The next one would be to partner with a spouse or a friend to watch the kids for a couple of hours. This is a great way to, if you have a neighbor or someone that you're friends with that has kids your own age, send them over there for an hour or two, or vice versa, as you can switch off times and things. One suggestion also would be that have somebody come in and work for, well, how do they put that, work for
oh yeah, you could trade a program for childcare.
Yeah, trade program for childcare. So they could, you could pay for some of their food, and they'll come and watch your kids for you as payment. Anyway, so there's a lot of options there for your workday. But again, during that workday is setting aside the time to be as productive as possible.
Yeah, we've even heard examples of people who had mother's helpers, where they had some neighborhood girls who are a little bit younger, but they just had them come over and play with their kids for an hour while mom was still at home doing some work. So that was actually
that's a great idea.
A great idea. It's a great idea if that's something that you can do. So your kid days. This is something that we really tried hard to do because this was for me. Because I was spending a lot of time with our clients, and we were mentoring our coaches. We were just working really, really hard, but at the same time, it felt like I was neglecting the kids, and that's not what I wanted at all before I started this. And this is Take Shape for Life, not take over your life, right, guys? So what we decided is we were going to block out time, and so Tuesdays and Thursdays for me are my days with the kids, and Mondays and Wednesdays are my longer work days. Except for during nap time, then I can get some work done those days too. Another thing is, if you're going to block out time, be present. Put your phone away. I actually took my little girl to the library this last week, and as I sat there during story time, she was dancing and singing and having so much fun with the stories, but I looked over and I can't tell you how many moms were sitting there on their phones. And I have to say, I was one of them. I used to be one of them. But I was so grateful that my phone was off. It was in my purse, and I didn't have to worry about it. And just seeing them, their eyes down, they're not seeing the fun things that their kids were experiencing. So if you have little kids, be present. Put your phone away. There really are no emergencies for coaching or clients. It can wait until your work time during the day, if it's during nap time or later or whatever, to return those phone calls. Have a plan. Schedule the activities. So make sure that you are, either it's getting out of the house or setting up a project or whatever it is that you're going to do with your kids. Just make sure you have a plan, because otherwise it might be easier to just sit down and say, oh, I'm going to check this one email. And then before you know it, it's 3 hours later and you haven't played with your kids at all. So that's super important. And then what we have found is really fun is talk to your kids about what you do and tell them about what you're doing as a health coach. A lot of times the kids are really excited about what you're excited about. And so we've found our son out by the road, and we asked him what he was doing. He's like, I'm going to find you health coaches. And he's like, I'm going to go out with a sign and I'm going to say, come be a health coach,
For $2. He's going to charge them $2 to be a health coach.
And so, it's just a funny way to get your kids involved. But when you're excited about something, they'll be excited about it. And that kind of leads us to the next thing. Set a family goal with your business and with the success that you make. So if you say, okay, if we add X amount of coaches, when we add X amount of coaches to our team, we're going to do this fun activity. Or when we see this many smiley faces during the week, during the month, we're going to be able to do this. Those are tangible things that your kids can see progress, and that they'll see the business growth is happening. Our son, every time we pull up our office in motion, is looking at it. He's like, wow, how many smiley faces do you have now? And so get them involved. They get really excited for you, and who knows, they may be helping you connect with other people, because kids just can't help but share things they're excited about.
Yeah, our kids are always trying to get people to be health coaches, so they're telling everybody for us, which is hilarious.
It's true.
Yeah, but also they hold you accountable. And, it's funny that our 7-year-old holds us accountable sometimes. It's really funny. They do. The next thing we want to talk about is maximizing your action time. Now, you maximizing the time with your family and your kids and things like that is critical. That's not step number one. Number two is, now that you have action time, how are you going to maximize that? And that's really what we want to focus on. So, really it comes down to, the steps here is, one, use the existing tools. Honestly, don't reinvent the wheel. There's so many good things out there already provided by corporate and by our team and things like that. Don't reinvent the wheel. Don't spend the time or waste the time, honestly, recreating things. Use what you've already got, or use the tools that are already there and run with them. Maybe modify them slightly for your own personality, but use what's already there. Don't spend a whole lot of time on using new tools. Work with your mentor to focus on one thing that will bring growth that week. This is really crucial, that you really, sit down with your mentor. Once a week would be great, and sit down with them and say, this is what I want to work on. This one thing that I want to work on this week. And that one thing is the thing that will help propel your business forward. And then focus on that. Again, we're not multitasking. We're trying to be more focused here. Second is focus. Set a timer. For me, sometimes it's really good to know I've got a 2-hour block, and I'm going to set a timer, and I'm not going to get distracted because I've got to focus for that 2 hours. When the timer goes off, then I can set up and get a drink or wander around or whatever, or an hour, or whatever you want to set the timer for. But really focus. And sometimes setting that timer will help you do that a little bit more, knowing that you don't have to be distracted until it happens, until the buzzer goes off. The third one is to create and post your structural tension chart where you can see it every day. To be successful, you have to have a roadmap. You have to know where you're going and what it is you want to do. So creating your structural tension chart, looking at it every day, putting it in a place that you can see it every day, is crucial to your success. If you don't set a goal, if you don't write a goal down, it's just a dream that's not attainable. And so you have to write your goals down, set your structural tension on how you're going to achieve those, and your action steps on that, and that'll make you more successful. So that's a crucial step in using your action time most effectively. And then the last one on this left side is scheduling your time, blocking it out. Like Tiari said, we've scheduled, so now her work days are Monday, Wednesday, mine are Tuesday, Thursday. And so I now have a blocked out from 9:30 to 2:30, a set amount of time that I get to just get work done and focus. And she gets to go play with the girls. And on Monday, Wednesday during that same time, I get to go play with our kids, and she gets to focus. And so really blocking it out, scheduling it, will make you so much more successful than trying to get little one-off here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes here. It's just so much more to be able to focus, and you're going to be using your time more effectively that way.
It's so true. Just a few other tips. Empty your inbox daily. So make sure that you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of. Complete those tasks immediately, and then track your follow-up. And whether you use Google Calendars, you use Outlook, you use one of these. This is what I use, actually. It's bigger. This one's Spencer's. But, an actual calendar, a physical calendar where you write things down to follow up. Whatever works for you, find something that works for you and go with it. But as long as you're recording things, you're going to keep doing really well with that. Another thing is domino effect. Did you know a single domino can knock over another domino that's 50% larger? Mm-hmm. So that tells me that consistent actions will actually lead to growth. If you're making these consistent daily actions, blocking out your time, being intentional with the time that you do have, you're going to be able to knock down each goal easier and easier and easier. And obviously, if that one can knock down 50%, then the next one can knock down another one 50% higher. And that's how you're going to experience growth in your business. The last tip I would offer is remove the Facebook app, Messenger app, or the Facebook app entirely. Get it off your phone. This is really important because a lot of times we get distracted when we hear notifications, and we just have to check it out. We just have to babysit everybody on I'm Healthy and I Know It. We have to babysit all the other coaches on Coaching Corner, and we just want to make sure that we're doing everything right. But guess what? It's not effective use of your time or your mental space. So just get it off your phone, and when you're sitting down, make sure you set a timer for your Facebook time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was something that you struggled with, honestly,
Oh, geez, yeah, it
and have
was
done so much
horrible for
better.
me, and now it's so much better. I'm not perfect at it. It's
Hmm.
definitely a process, but it's gotten a lot better.
On that one, it's again that being present, wherever you are in whatever it is that you're doing. So, the last part is maximizing your commitments time. Now, we all have commitments, and we all have responsibilities, be it with your family, with your community, with your church, religion, whatever you do. You have commitments, and so those are also very important. However, sometimes we're too friendly and we overcommit ourselves. And so you have to, to maximize your commitments times, you have to be effective um, in controlling and working with that as well. So a lot of times you have to evaluate what your commitments are, and then delegate, if possible, certain aspects of those commitments. It's a great leadership tool to delegate, and it's a great way to be more effective with your commitments and your time. Delegating and teaching people how to do it, and then letting them do it. But most important though is what supports your core values. You know, are you committing to things that are helping you become a better person individually, as a business owner, as a husband, wife, mother, father, and in your aspects, really focusing on those things that you really enjoy doing. As we talk in a lot of our other settings, is living a life of purpose. What supports your core values? Those are where you want your commitments to be, and anything outside of those really become distractions or
Unnecessary.
unnecessary. So with this next one, it's every yes has to be defended by 1,000 no's. Now this is sometimes hard for a lot of people to do, is to say no. So the way I look at this is, for every time you're saying yes, that means you had to say no 1,000 times to 1,000 different things. In other words, you're being very selective with your time and with your commitments to what you're going to be saying yes to. And unfortunately, you're going to be asked to do a lot of things, or fortunately, you're going to be asked to do a lot of things, but you have every right to say, no, I'm sorry, I cannot do that. So it's almost to the point where, to be as effective with your time as possible, and as you start growing in your business, it's going to become more and more evident to you that you're going to have to say no 1,000 times before you finally choose a worthwhile commitment to say yes to. So be conscious of that, and don't say yes to everything. And say no graciously. Tiara's going to talk about that.
Yeah, so saying no graciously, this came from the Tinchers as well. Most of this did, and we're so grateful that they taught us these things. Saying no graciously, there's no shame in doing that. And a lot of times, the way you say no makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody offers you or asks you to participate in something, a way to say no graciously is just to thank them for thinking of you. Tell them you're appreciative of their efforts, and you support them in what they're doing, but you're not able to support them with that specific thing. And offering your moral support to them really means a lot. And maybe offering something that you could support that does fit within your time frame and your schedule and what you're able to commit to. But when you say no that way, people are a lot more open.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps that door open. Yeah. And it keeps that friendship good. Here are some other items that can be delegated. Housework. If it's worth it to you to have someone for $30 or whatever to come in and clean your floors or bathrooms or whatever it is that's taking mental or physical energy and time, go for it. If you feel like that's good for you.
Once a week, yeah, that's it.
Household projects, maybe put those on hold for a little while you're working, or set a specific time aside for the household projects. And childcare if necessary. We did kind of cover that a little bit before. Yeah. But really what we're trying to do is help you understand that maximizing your time is really going to make you much more efficient. It's going to make this a business that's not taking over your life, but it's helping you embrace everything that's good. The ability that you have to be flexible, that you can spend time on the things that matter most to you. Yeah. So good luck maximizing your time, and we'd love to hear comments in the comment section and any questions. Thanks.
All right, thank you.